I keep my goals to myself, cause whenever I share it with folks, they get a look upon their face and their memory floats to a time where their goals and the stars ain't...
What's good? We're going to get into Monday Night Raw from July the 13th, 2026. This was an okay show. They tried here a little bit. The gauntlet match was the most fun match on the entire show. I had a lot of fun watching that. Thought it was very good. Javon Evans is definitely MVP. He was definitely the MVP of that match for sure. He's great. And I do think that his time will come. I liked the Oba and Brock stuff. I thought that was pretty good. The Maxxine Dupri Vision stuff, that was okay. I'm just not a fan of the Vision. I think that faction needs to be disbanded for good because the Vision has gone nowhere. And I just don't like it, right? I feel like it would be a lot better if all members would go their separate ways. Braun, maybe, have him be aligned with Paul Heyman. Austin Theory can do some stuff in the mid-card. Logan Paul, I would move him up to the main event scene, honestly. I wouldn't mind him going after the World Heavyweight Championship. Right? That'd be kind of cool. But that's just me just thinking out loud. And speaking of the World Heavyweight Championship, I didn't like what occurred between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Because it's boring nostalgia that no one really cares about. And I want to ask the question, what's the real main event of SummerSlam? What is it? Is it Brock and Oba inside Hell in a Cell? Is it CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Undisputed Championship? Or is it Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship? And we'll talk about that, though. We'll talk about it. But what's the real main event of SummerSlam? We'll definitely talk about it. All right, so we kicked the show off with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. Brock gets a good reaction. So there are 5 police officers there in the ring, standing around the ring. So Paul Heyman does his usual introduction. He says the reason that some members of the Dallas Police Department are out there is because of Oba Femi, and that's a valid question. Paul says that Oba Femi turned down a guaranteed title match against either champion because that's how obsessed he is with Brock Lesnar. He then reiterates that again and claims it's stalker level, obsessed to an unhealthy degree, Klinger number 9 territory. Oba Femi isn't just a Klinger, not just obsessed, not just a stalker. Paul Heyman says he's the biggest dummy he's ever met in his entire life. So Paul Heyman says, boo all you want, he's telling the truth. He's not just a big dummy, but he's a really big Nigerian dummy who turned down a title shot like a psycho ex-girlfriend coming after Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman says that everyone's the same. They talk shit, then they get hit, and then they're not so obsessed with Brock Lesnar anymore. The big problem, there's a bigger problem at hand. It's not that Oba Femi's obsessed with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is also obsessed with Oba Femi, and that scares Paul Heyman half to death. He said he called Brock during a hunting expedition. He said he can't wait to get inside Hell in a Cell with Oba Femi. It's the same during training season. And he's never seen Brock Lesnar so obsessed with an opponent. That means one thing to Paul Heyman: violence. He wants to protect his shekels, so he went to WWE and asked to please get a no-touch clause, and that requires a lot of lawyers and paperwork. So he went to a judge here in Dallas that his father knew, and called in some favors, and he got a restraining order on Oba Femi. So he can't come in with 100 feet. And the truth be told, he got a restraining order for Brock Lesnar. So Brock looked shocked. He said, out of years of respect and loyalty to him, he knows Brock will please adhere to the restraining order because this beast is a law-abiding citizen. So Oba shows up. He gets a really good reaction. Oba said that he came here for a fight tonight, but he jumps into that, and he'll give him an opportunity to explain. But before he jumps into that, he'll give Paul Heyman an opportunity to explain what the hell this is. Paul Heyman says that he's in violation of a restraining order and tells the cops to do their job. So Brock and Paul, they leave. And then Oba Femi just lays the waste to all the security guards, which was great. Takes them all out. And then Oba Femi gets on the mic. Oba says that Brock goes into hiding and asks where the beast is. He used to run this place, and now all he does is run away. And as for Paul Heyman, he has the audacity to say he threw away a title match when when we all know that he would have ruined it anyway, which is true, even if he had gone for it. So at SummerSlam, no BS, no low blows. You can't run from the ruler, the destroyer, the bringer of war. You cannot run from Oba Femi. Okay, so good stuff. I actually do like this. This was fun. This lasted a lot of good. 8 minutes, basically. So this was really good stuff. I'm actually very pleased by this. Thankfully, there was no contact. It's always good when WWE brings in quote-unquote police or cops into the mix. It's always fun because we all know that there's indie guys just taking a bunch of bumps, which is great. So good stuff here. I actually do like this. Brock versus Oba should definitely be the main event for night one for sure. That's why I asked the question, what's going to be the main event really for night two? Is it going to be Punk and Cody, or is it going to be Roman and Seth? So I don't know. But this was fine, though. This was fine. So good shit here. I actually did like this. Moving on from that, this leads us into the first match of the night. Io Sky defeats Roxanne Perez. So towards the end of the match, Liv and Raquel tried to get involved. Io fought them off, and then she ended up rolling up Roxanne Perez. Okay, that's fine. Who really cares? Then post-match, Raquel and Liv, they beat down Io, and then Ruka came out to make the save, and then Ruka got her ass beat, and Liv, Roxanne, and Raquel, they ended up beating up both Ruka and Io Sky. All right, that's fine. Who really gives a shit about this? We got we got a respective video package about the Shield. It was narrated by Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. So who really cares about this? It's a waste of space, really. Who gives a damn? Moving on from that, this leads us into the Vision. So Maxxine, she gives her reason as to why she turned on Otis and Tozawa, the Alpha Academy, and joined up with the Vision. So Austin Theory wants the crowd to give it up to their new tag team champions in Braun Breaker and himself. He adds they couldn't do it without the newest member of the team, the Vision Queen, Maxxine Dupri. So Maxxine was about to get on the mic, and then a massive "You Sold Out" chant broke out, which was great. And then Otis and Tozawa, they show up. So Maxxine asked the Vision to leave. Tozawa, he's emotional. He asked her what's she doing and says this isn't her. She's a wonderful human being because he knows her heart. And Austin Theory is all wrong for her. Maxxine says that she still loves them and she appreciates that, but they gave her a choice. So the crowd continues to boo. She says they gave her a choice, that if she wanted to be with Theory, she couldn't be with them, and she doesn't think that's fair because they don't even know him. So Otis interrupts and says that he told her that Austin Theory is bad news, but again, she literally says, my bad, but again, she says he literally doesn't know him. Otis says he knows her. However, he gets emotional and tries to get his words out. So, Austin Theory and the rest of the division, they start laughing at Otis and everything. And because he thinks he's going to tell her that he loves her. And just look at him, and people like him don't belong with people like Maxxine. Austin Theory says she's with him now. So, keep your fat, disgusting, musty, crusty. And then he couldn't finish the sentence because Otis attacked him. A brawl ensued, basically. So, there's that. A massive brawl ensued. Yada, yada, yada. Braun got beat up a good bit. And then Otis was about to tell Maxxine something, and then he ended up getting elbowed in the nuts by Austin Theory. And then Maxxine shoved him to the ground and said she would never love someone like him or whatever, something like that. I wasn't paying attention during some of this. So, there's that. That was it. I mean, it's not really that important. This is fine, though. The Dallas crowd actually loved this. Like, Dallas was pretty damn hot for most of what was on this show. And I figured they would be because, Dallas is basically like a smart mark crowd anyway. So we already knew that they were going to cheer for most of what occurred on this show. So, I mean, they were very vocal for this. So, I did like that. Again, this is fine. Do I give a damn about this? No, not really, because I just don't care about the vision. It's just better that they just be disbanded, and everyone can go their separate ways. I mean, Austin Theory could be in the mid-card doing some cool shit. Logan Paul could try to be in the main event scene. Braun Breaker, same thing. He could be with Paul Heyman, right? Like, come on. Like, this makes no damn sense, but whatever. Moving on from that, let's lead us into short promos from all of the Gauntlet guys. Dominic Mysterio, Rusev, Chad Gable, Ethan Page, Dragon Lee, Joe Hendry, and Javon Evans. So, okay, that's fine there. Moving on, an impromptu match got booked because Jimmy Uso, he showed up, tried to look for Solo, and Royce Keys attacked Jimmy. They had a little brawl, and then Adam Pearce made the match official. Who really cares? This match ended up getting thrown out anyway. Royce Keys got the win via DQ. Jacob Fatu showed up. So, there's that. So then Solo shows up because Jacob was about to do the hip attack in the ring apron. In the corner. So Solo says that he understands that blood's thicker than water. So he's coming home to the family, and then he does the one. So Jimmy begins to smile, and then out of nowhere, Solo hits the Samoan spike onto Jimmy. And then he attacks Jacob Fatu. The brawl continues on. LA Knight shows up, and they clear house. And then LA Knight says that he's tired of the bloodline and everything else. And so he's basically challenges them to a 6-man tag. It's going to be Jacob Fatu and the Usos taking on LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, and Royce Keys at SummerSlam. Do I care about this? No. But I predicted that this was going to happen anyway. I figured this was always going to be the plan. I figured that was going to happen. I've been saying it for a little bit over a month now when this whole thing, started to take shape. I figured that's where they were going to go, especially when they put Jacob with the Usos. And we knew that this is where this was going to go. This is fine. This makes sense. I thought this would be on Saturday Night's Main Event, but thankfully it's not. It's going to be on SummerSlam, so that's fine. But I mean, this match can really even occur on a random episode of Raw too. But who really knows? But this was fine, I guess. Whatever. I don't give a damn. Moving on. So Paul Heyman, he congratulates the division backstage. He says that Braun Breaker showed why you don't mess with Braun Breaker. Logan Paul is healing faster than Conor McGregor. Austin Theory standing by his woman. And Maxxine Dupri, while Austin Theory asked if that means they're back together. And Paul Heyman says Maxxine Dupri was so great out there tonight. What did they need to do for him? So Paul Heyman basically, he's slowly but surely walking away from the division. And it needs to happen, right? Logan needs to be on his own. I would pair Paul Heyman with Braun Breaker. I think that would be great. And you could put Austin Theory on his own. It's just time to end the fucking vision. It's just time. Moving on from that. Adam Pearce is backstage. He's talking to someone on the phone. He tells somebody if they need him there, he'll be there. So, Oba Femi shows up. Adam Pearce tells him that not to worry. He knows that Paul Heyman was bluffing. It was phony cops and a phony restraining order and all mind games. Oba says he knows. They're scared. Just wait until they see what he does to Brock inside Hell in a Cell. Okay, that's fine. Moving on from that, this leads us into Bayley. She was on this show, looking good as ever. I love me some Bayley. She wanted Lyra to come down. So Lyra comes down. She's dressed kind of weird. She's got like a threaded oversized sweater. She looks like she's been kind of homeless a little bit. Like her hair is kind of like black and kind of messy and stuff. I do like the look though. Bayley tries to give her a mic. Lyra looks away. So Bayley says she thought they could share their real feelings and apologize. Lyra says she should apologize for holding her back for an entire year, coming out here and looking like a victim. Oh, poor Bayley. Her friends always stab her in the back and leave her in the dust. Well, Lyra's been stabbed in the back herself, and she doesn't make a big deal of it. And if Bayley could step back and see the big picture, maybe she'll understand her own problems. So Bayley tries to speak to Lyra, but Lyra shushes her and says everything nice she said about her during their time together was all a big lie. She says Bayley isn't a locker room leader. She's a doormat. Her face doesn't belong on posters. She's always been the worst of the 4 horsewomen, which was great. That got a ooh from the crowd. Bayley says she should have known bringing Lyra out here was a big mistake because clearly she's like everyone else. Not as special as she thinks she is, because she's saying this to the first ever women's Grand Slam champion, a Royal Rumble winner, and one half of the first ever women's tag team champs. So she's going to add beating Lyra's ass in Madison Square Garden on the list. To that list. Because Adam Pearce, she talked to Adam Pearce and got a match for Saturday Night's Main Event. Okay, so then a brawl ensues, and there's that. Okay, that's fine. This is okay. Moving on from that. So this leads us into another history of the Shield vignette and everything else. Okay, there's that. Who really cares? Then we get a Mystery Man vignette. So it's going to happen on August 3rd. So it could be Big Cass and Enzo. Okay, that's fine. Moving on from that, this leads us into the gauntlet match, number one contenders for a match for the Intercontinental Championship. The winner of that will face Penta at SummerSlam. Chad Gable defeated Dominic Mysterio, Dragon Lee, Ethan Page, Javon Evans, Joe Hendry, and Rusev. This match was fun. Javon Evans was great here. This was excellent, man. I love this. Joe Hendry, he got buried early on. Like, he only lasted like 5 minutes in the match, which I figured that would happen anyway. So there's that. People are like, well, Joe Hendry's a jobber. It's like, no, he's not. Like, Joe Hendry is fine. Like, Joe Hendry is a solid mid-card guy. He's a solid mid-card act, and that's just his role. It's like, come on. Like, he's not going to be this main event guy. Like, come on. Like, he'll eventually be IC champion at some point in time. Although I'm shocked that Chad won. Because, again, it's going to be babyface versus babyface at SummerSlam, which I don't like. Like, we need a babyface versus heel. I don't understand it, but whatever. I mean, it's fine. But this match was very, very fun, you know. So, whatever. This was a really good, fun match, man. I had fun watching this. I really did. Good stuff. I mean, Javon Evans kicks major fucking ass. So, you know, there's that. All right, moving on from that. This leads us into the closing segment of the show, which was Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, their contract signing. So, Roman does his usual shtick first. He wants Dallas to acknowledge him, which they do. So then Seth Rollins comes out and gets a good reaction. Seth Rollins says that he knows that this is difficult for Roman and he knows what he's going through. But some things in life are certain. Death, taxes, and Seth Rollins beats Roman Reigns every single time. So sign on the dotted line so they can get this over with. Roman toys with the microphone. So the crowd sings Seth Rollins' song and everything else. So Roman takes a couple of jabs at Seth Rollins, saying that Rollins is Roman's number one hater, which is true. In the crowd chant, he's a hater. I love that. He's a hater. I love that. That was hilarious. Anyway, the promo continued on and everything else. Roman kept on taking jabs at Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins says he owes Roman a debt of gratitude for keeping his title warm, and he'll take it from him at SummerSlam. And brother, he'll see him. He'll see him the next time he shows up for work. So Seth leaves and everything else. Roman gets on the mic. He's a little bit perturbed. He said, "That's it." So Roman continues to jab at Seth Rollins. He says that he's going to carry the title for a few months and then get hurt again. Don't act shocked. That's what happens every single time. I'm like, damn. He says that some would call it self-sabotage, even because some people just can't handle the weight and the pressure of and the burden of being the top guy around here. So Rollins begins to head back to the ring. Roman continues to make fun of Seth Rollins again. Just, says a bunch of other random stuff. He says after all these years, he still needs a Money in the Bank briefcase to become champion. And if you thought that was bad, he had to fake an injury in order to keep the damn thing. And Roman says if there's ever a time for Seth to be number one, his work daddy Triple H is practically running the joint, which was hilarious, which is true. He said they tried. They gave Rollins all his stuff, and he still couldn't walk in his shoes. Number two, let's call a spade a spade. Seth Rollins is number two and will always be. Roman is number one and will always be. Just acknowledge it, bitch. I love that. So, Seth Rollins says that he's glad that he's not like Roman Reigns or anything else. And then Seth just continues just to yap on for a little bit. Then Rollins attacks Roman. Rollins attacks Roman. He calls him a piece of shit and everything else. Rollins was about to go for a stomp. Roman got out of it. He hit a Superman punch. Then Rollins got the upper hand again. Then Rollins ended up doing a pedigree, followed by the stomp, and then that was the show. So, this is fine, I guess. Do I care about this? No, not really. I don't give a shit about this feud. This has been boring. This is the new John Cena, Randy Orton. Just slotting Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. I'm just not a fan of this. I personally think that the main event of SummerSlam should actually be, for night 2, should actually be Punk and Cody, right? I think that should be the main event, but we all know it's not going to be, right? And again, I often wonder who's going to close SummerSlam. And I think it's probably going to end up going to Punk to Rollins and Reigns, because Roman's like the biggest star they have. And I know Roman said, in the past when he was doing the Bloodline stuff, that he either opens the show or ends the show. So maybe he'll open the show for SummerSlam. Maybe, I don't know. But this was kind of boring, but whatever. The show itself was okay. I like what they're doing with Maxxine Dupri. I do like that. The Oba and Brock stuff was okay. Bayley and Lyra was all right. I didn't care about the Liv Morgan stuff. I don't care about that. The Gauntlet match was tremendous. I love that. Stuff was fun. Chad Gable winning was fine. Again, SummerSlam's in his hometown, so why wouldn't he win? So, there's that. But all in all, the show was okay for the most part. What did you guys think? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.